Amazing! Oh, sorry. Good evening, everyone. Today we will try to inform ourselves about the progress of tomorrow. In the program, we will first discover a molecule, and you probably will not believe it. This molecule could help to make any water drinkable. Then we invite you to discover the new types of transport, flying cars of the films. Back to the Future will soon be more simple fictions. And finally, our third subject would be a fantastic pill. Thanks to it, no one will ever forget to take his medication, contraceptives, no more moments of panic. These three subjects are more than interesting, but unfortunately we are not able to deepen only one subject today. What I propose to you is to vote. The topic that will win the most votes will be the subject on which we will debate and answer your questions. For that, nothing more simple to go to the link that appears at the bottom of your screen and click on the subject that interests you the most. To facilitate your choice, I propose to accommodate three specialists.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Happy that you are with us to help our viewers to choose the subject on which we will continue the second part of emission. I propose to expose briefly your research topics. Dr. Sabado, could you explain to us what the graphene is? I pronounced it well?
Yeah, sure, that's right. Graphene. It's a molecule that was discovered in 1947, but it could not be synthesized. That is to say, created in the laboratory that in 2004, which was worldwide a Nobel Prize to the scientists who managed this little miracle. This molecule is nowadays very used in the batteries of phones, in computers or chips. By its carbon structures, it's an ideal material for the storage of the energy. But by studying a little more precisely and more crudely this molecule, we realize that graphene has a very particular hexagonal and regular structure. So she gave us the idea of using this material for design of water purification membranes. No more here to chemically remove pollutants, but rather to extract them physically. And that's using billions of graphene nanorods stocked in layers and able to capture pollutants selectively. What produces very, very pure water without imprisonment, taste or bad smell. So the goal would be by 2025, no one in the earth will suffer from lack of water. The graphene, by the test that we started to perform, filtered better than all other techniques we use today.
Yes, I could read in an article that you have succeeded in filtering whiskey to extract its color. It's true?
Yes, it's amazing. Retaining the color of a liquid was really unmanageable, and it took us over 10 years. 10 years, can you just think it? That this simple molecule, unmodified in the laboratory, could do it itself. That's why, with this molecule, we think we can make any water drinkable.
It's true, it's incredible, and you think you can do it soon? Because it is true that unfortunately many countries are affected by dehydration due to the problems of access to drinking water.
Yes, there is a problem. Maintaining the purity of graphene is very expensive, especially to implement it at the industrial level. And in addition, exposed to the air, graphene oxidizes quickly. So we have to solve this problem, so we need more time and more money.
Well, it's true that access to drinking water is still a big problem in the
Sure.
21st century. And you, Mr. Robin, present your subject.
Well, our research is much less in the optic of saving the world. But who has ever dreaming of a flying car? Yes, hahaha. Imagine there will be no question of making hours of trips with traffic jam. It will be easy now to go from point A to point B in a record time.
Indeed, it will be really fantastic. And where are you in your search?
To be honest, we have already started the test. We have managed to produce a flying car that has already managed to perform a good 100 francs.
Oh, fabulous! So it will soon be marketed.
We will still have some details to settle before that. And we still have to study the question of the selling price, which remains crucial.
This little gem will not be given to everyone, of course. Finally, to you, Mrs. Bossoro.
Thank you. So you have already explained our research theme is based on a smart pill which tell doctor if patients have taken their medication has been approved by regulators in the US, paving the way for a new generation of electroceuticals. The new technology has been added to the drug Abilify, which has been used to treat people suffering from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder since 2002. People with mental disorders often struggle to remember to take medicine, so the pill could give an early warning to health workers that a patient may be struggling.
Incredible, it should be a real step forward. We should explain how it really works, but unfortunately we will have to launch the advertisement. Dear viewers, you only have a few minutes to choose a topic that interests you the most and try to learn a little more about the technologies of tomorrow.
Come on, everyone, come on to my fabulous restaurant. For each menu based off of purchased, you received a fabulous gift. So enjoy it.
Again, dear viewers, before this break of advertising, we were able to discover in more detail 3 research topics. And thanks to your votes, here is the subject retained for the second part of emission. This is the first subject, the new smart pill. We are going to keep Dr. Boisserol with us. Thank you, Mrs. Sabado and Mr. Robin, for being with us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi!
Good evening to both of you. So you heard what the topic was about today?
Yes, indeed. We heard your explanations, and suddenly, it's true that I asked myself a number of questions.
Yes, of course, go there.
Alright, you said that this pill will be ingested as a medicine.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, but so how does this pill work? How can it convey a message to the patient and data to the doctors?
It fulfills 4 functions. The recall of taking a prescription thanks to a light signal sound, even a phone call to the patient, sending a friend or family member selected by the patient, a weekly report, a reminder when the pill stock is coming to an end, and finally, the mailing each month of a report which can be sent to the doctor.
Excuse me, but how can we reserve a phone call?
It's quite simple. A message is delivered to our automatic system, which is connected to the telephone network. So an automatic call with a pre-recorded message is made.
Okay, but I read in an article that microchip in the United States is developing a chip allowing continuous monitoring of glucose levels for a diabetic person, This is no longer on-off but permanent surveillance. You are not afraid that the subject of privacy is put on the table?
Yes, but all information will only be passed on to the doctor.
Yeah, but because we don't forget, we are in France, so the relationship between a patient and his doctor is under the cover of a medical secrecy.
Yes, but all information will only be passed on to the doctor.
I'm sorry, but no, I'm not okay with you. If the question doesn't arise for the patient or the doctor himself, The use and possible hosting of this information by pharmaceutical companies or just private third parties raise a serious ethical problem. We must ask ourselves questions about the treatment of all this information. What are they precisely, and what is their confidentiality? Because we don't know who can have access to this.
The question is what information and in what form could then be relayed to the laboratories.
Yeah, sure.
In addition to this ethical problem, it is not said that patients agree to be permanently under the eye of the doctor.
Of course.
It can be badly accepted by the patient.
But if the patient doesn't want a treatment that works with smart pills, he can still have access to the generics. And it's true, the question of information storage must really be studied.
Yes, faced with such a system, the first reaction is often, at least in France, to say that we'll track down people.
But as with any innovation, it can be used for better or for worse. It's therefore to frame. But if the interest of the patient and society wins, why not adopt it?
This fear of stalking or copyright is recurrent, especially with the arrival, for example, of geolocalization function or products like the Navigo map. Misuse of the data collected and obviously be dangerous. But well used, that is to say, by looking at the global statistical view. Traffic data, for example, are very useful to the RATP for the improvement of the service.
It's true that we are in a society that is unfortunately a little too afraid of progress, even when it can be beneficial. So suddenly, these new systems which come into the field of remote monitoring can also provide an answer to the growing problem of medical desertification, since they reduce the physical recourse to a doctor.
Yes, it can be a goal of use, even if the physical resource to a doctor remains paramount.
We will ask some questions to people in the street to know their opinion, whether they were or not likely to agree to carry a smart pill. Here are some experts.
Sorry, can you come? What do you think of flying car?
Recently, there was a death with a self-driving car in the USA. I think flying cars is a good thing only if security is assured.
Okay, thanks.
Guy.
Yes?
I have a question. What do you think of the graphene sim molecule?
I think it will not work. It costs too much. The problem of the water in the world is is more economic than technical.
As you can see, the opinions are quite divided.
Yes, the novelty is scary to people, and it's normal. We don't know what can cause the injection of the chip to the body.
I just think that there must be a change in mentalities. A lot of progress took time to be accepted, but today we live with no problem. It's sometimes difficult to part with it's sometimes difficult to part with it.
Yeah, sure.
We will therefore stay on this conclusion, hoping that this shows more and that it has enlightened you on this new discovery. For our next show, we will try to answer your questions about the second subject that came first, graphene C. See you soon.
Bye.
See you soon, bye.
Oh, faut pas couper.
Moi, je vais couper, vas-y.
That's right, I always imagine myself as Marty McFly in his flying car, crossing the clouds,
Yes. Imagine, there will be no question of marking hours of trips with traffic jams. It will be easy now to go from point A to point B in record time.
Point.
Okay, coupon. It will be easy now to go from point A to point B in a record time.
Point A.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
Point A to a point B.
It will be easy.
Easy.
It will be easy.
Now.
It will be easy now to go from point